most of the time when you see all these people on YouTube, all these startup founders, success creators, it's always after they've become successful. I feel like you don't get the chance to see many people really documenting the journey before that. And so my goal with this series is just to document the process, everything that happens, whether my SaaS ends up making $0, whether it ends up making $2, the things I learn along the way, all that jibber jabber. I'm just thinking of it as my own diary. Hello there, my name is Hakeem. I'm a student going to Monash University in Australia. I'm making my first SaaS. My motivations for creating this SaaS really isn't just to make money. My main point is to actually improve as a developer by doing and creating something that's real, because I feel like as a student, not enough people are just making projects. We're all going through the uni course. 80-90% of people are just sticking with that, right? And at the end of it, if I create something that generates money, then that's incredible. But in the worst case scenario, I have a really cool project I can put on my resume that's also taught me how to actually be a better developer. I've heard this so many times, like, you need to market first and all of this, right? You could just be building for no one. And I think that's something I already need to work on. There's a lot of friction trying to really put yourself out there. It's so ruthless out there. It's just people behind their screens, smashing away at their keyboards online. Like, they're just gonna roast you. Like, they don't care about you, right? That's why it's like feels so scary to go and actually put yourself out there and market your product. I've actually already started coding the project for a couple of months. And so what I've done so far is just some simple auth, and I've also gotten the tokenization working, which you can actually check out in one of my previous videos on how I actually implemented that. So I say, like, I've been working on this for a couple of months, and that's true. Yet I haven't actually achieved much coding, right? One of the interesting things that I've also learned, literally 90% of my time towards this project has just been thinking. It's just been researching. What is the best way to do this? Like, when you finally embark on creating your own actual big project, something that's bigger than just like a small little, side project, there's so many options to do things, right? The world is your oyster, that freedom really makes it actually super hard. Like, it's not structured, it's a lot. And I'm just thinking about it, or like, even just, can I actually achieve this? For example, I was looking at the YouTube API. The YouTube API is like super limited, and I didn't know that before. So I was like, oh, well, can I even implement this like YouTube video feature? And so then I took a couple of days just researching, and I finally found a package that allows you to, but then you have to actually use a proxy, and that can get expensive. So it's a lot of just thinking and about the business side of things, and about is this even possible, right? And then the coding part is like so little. So if you were to tell me again, write this exact same application from scratch, I would be able to do the same amount that I've done in a couple of months, literally in like a couple of days. And I think it just goes to show that, like, really everyone, other junior developers, other students, like, just, you have to make your own projects, because this is where like you learn the most. The other thing is that as my code base grows bigger, is that you actually start to feel the effects of like solid principles and all these design patterns. Like, in the places where I've written the code that adheres, better to the principles and has actually used a pattern, I find myself, when I look back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty easy to understand. I can understand it a lot faster. So it makes it a lot easier to refactor, because I'm doing a lot of refactoring. That's another thing. It's like, holy shit, when you think you figured something out, then you go back and you do some more research, and then you realize, oh wait, there's a different way to do this, or I should have probably had my database schema like this. And so yeah, actually having these patterns makes it a lot easier. And then in the places where I haven't used the patterns, it really takes so much time, and it's so much more annoying to like go through again. I'm like, why did I do it this way, And so yeah, I think it's very interesting, as this is my first experience actually kind of reaping the benefits of implementing a nicely designed system. But yeah, I can just see as it gets bigger and bigger, like, following some structure is like super important. I've been learning Japanese for the past few years, and I always had to go through this very annoying routine where I'd be reading something in Japanese, I'd come across a word I wouldn't know, copy that word into a translator or a dictionary, then I'd have to copy and paste the definition and the word into another app, in a flashcard app, then I'd finally have to import it into that flashcard app, and then I have to do that for every single word I don't know. It's a very cumbersome process, and so that's what this idea is actually trying to fix, a place where you can do all of that in one spot. So it's pretty much going to have a pop-up dictionary, and from that pop-up dictionary you can save the word into your flashcards, into your word bank, and also like AI generated explanations of the word in the context of the sentence. Now, yeah, one thing I'm already, I guess, worried about is the market and the competition. There are already many competitors who are actually doing this. But as someone who's actually used these tools, none of them are actually perfect. Most of them suffer from like super old, outdated UI and really bad user experiences. That's really what I'm trying to fix with this app. And I think if I can hopefully fix those things, maybe, you know, people will actually come and use my app. And so yeah, that's where I'm up to right now, and that's kind of what I've learned so far and what I've been thinking. Yeah, I started this YouTube channel. I started taking it a bit more seriously now. I'm on break, so I want to try and create a routine of creating videos. So I'm going to be doing this series along with just my more like daily vlog series, which will probably go a bit more in depth to what I'm coding that day or what I'm doing in that day. So yeah, I don't know, man. If you're interested in following this journey, if you're maybe actually interested in the app itself, let me know. If you've got any ideas, any features, any whatever you think, I'd be super happy and interested if you left a comment. I hope this becomes a resource that motivates people and that can actually really be useful. I'm gonna dip out now. I've been speaking to the camera for like 28 minutes now. Yeah, I gotta get better at just casually speaking here. So thank you all for watching. I hope you stick around.